I was absolutely bricking it. I can't lie to you.
Do you know what? You was like an annoying little brother, I'm not going to lie.
If you get on that show, how can you make it different from what you've already watched?
I was bricks. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear.
I bumped into you. I was on my way to get a McDonald's. I think you were on the way back.
Hello! I'm alright, are you?
There is no way I'd be able to like live with my life if I couldn't get a slinky on my head.
But yeah, no, like you said, it's mad. The amount of people I saw, afterwards on Instagram, I thought, why didn't I speak to them? But
I think all the time. And sometimes it's like you don't want to sort of go in your head a bit, but you sort of think, how did I come across? Like I wasn't. Oh, because one of the producers, one of the casting people was like, "Oh, you kind of kept yourself to yourself at first." And when I say that to my friends and family, they're like, "Did you?" I was like, "Well, I didn't feel like I was," but then when you're around like big characters and personalities as well, it will. I suppose I'm a more subdued version, but then as the show went on, I was just like coming out of my shell a bit and kind of experimenting with my personality a bit more because a lot had gone on at that time. So it was like, I mean, when I met Jess on the first initial sort of coach trip, straight away we were just like, and we've been like it ever since. We talk every day.
Yeah, but, so I thought you and Jess had come as friends, but did you meet?
Literally met in the coach, like, so Jess was so on the train, I was sitting at the back and I was like, shit, what am I doing? Like, I just couldn't get, because I'd had 4 days notice to sort of get everything together and I work for myself. So I had to cancel clients as a hairdresser. So I had to cancel clients and just get on with it. So anyway, meeting Jess, I jumped up. I was on the train and I could see Ash. And obviously Ash has got that big curly hair and he's quite tall. And I seen Jess and I was like, God, those two look really colourful. I bet they're on the show. But I thought they were together. And they just met. And Jess is so approachable. So you can't help but jump in with a conversation with her. But I didn't do that until we got on the coach. And then we got on the coach. And then it was like, as she will tell you, I was talking at her. And then it was like we were just having this like life story. And that was it then. It just every day, every morning, every night, we were just like having this like flowing conversation of just like telling each other about the last 40 years of my life, 30 odd years of her. So yeah, it was wild. It was wild. Especially because there was just so much going on. And I've not like, because I just split up with someone, just moved out of theirs a few weeks before. I was in where I am now. And my tenant had just messed this whole place up. He was doing all sorts from here. And I had to I was sleeping in this room. This is my living room. I was sleeping in here. Well, living room, kitchen. I was sleeping in here on a blow-up bed. I just sorted that out. And then the show called me and were like, oh, congratulations, you've got on. And I was like, oh, shit. And I was like, what do I do? And I was so grateful because I was just like, what an experience. And like, because I think when you kind of go for a bit of a breakup and that, you're like, is life going in the right direction? Is this what I'm meant to be doing? And then I was just like, wow, I've just been offered this like chance to do something like mad. And my mum was like, and sometimes you forget how well your parents know you. My mum was like, God, that's right up your street, that is, isn't it? Just do loads of random shit. Oh, she didn't swear. Loads of random stuff, tasks and that, and just throwing yourself into it very quickly and not having much time to think about it. So, yeah.
The only thing I remember talking to you about was you had the pink stuff in your hair, didn't you? And you said, and I said, if I get to the final, I'll put a load of pink in my hair. And then obviously that never happened. But
yeah, I had to do it. It's funny you say that. So, because obviously I'm a hairdresser, I know, like what happened with that. If I'm perfectly honest, I wouldn't say that got me on the show. Of course it didn't. But I'd done the London Marathon. I'd had 6 because my nephew ended up in the children's hospital suddenly. And he had quite a major operation. He was only 3. Was he 2 at the time? 3. I spoke to the children's hospital and said, look, I'd like to raise some money because what you're doing is amazing. And I've got loads of nieces and nephews. And I thought, because I've got no kids, I thought it's a nice way of giving back and whatever. And so I said, have you got any places for the London Marathon? And they called me. And this was April. So obviously the show was, we were filming the show when we were filming it. This was April. And they just said, yeah, you've got 6 weeks to train. And I was like, shit. And I just said, if I raise enough money, I'll do my hair red. Anyway, I've done it pillar box red. Actually, the picture's here. So I've done it like pillar box red. There I am at London Bridge. I had conveniently placed. I've done it pillar box red. And I write my money, my little brother transferred the rest of the money, so I had to do it red. And then when I done my interview for the show, it was like just faded. And she just said, "Oh yeah, we think you're rocking the pink hair." And I was like, "Oh fuck it, I'm treating that as a sign." So I just kept doing it pink. I ain't had it pink since. I ain't had it pink. I don't think I've ever had it pink before that. But it was for the London Marathon. But then it just worked for the show. So otherwise, I'm just like David Smith in the background with, just 40-year-old David Smith. I feel quite generic sometimes, but like I was like, I'll have pink hair. I'll be fine.
So what did you go out on then?
Oh, I can't tell you yet, can I? So
well, I'll release it after
oh, okay, yeah. It was a chat. So I was finalist, and it was a challenge to do with butterflies. And basically, long story short, symbolically, look, I have butterflies around my flat. Like I have like hang on, I'll get it for you. But I have like oh shit. I have this, which is like the emoji tattooed on my calf for running, like and for like transformation, and because I'm quite spiritual like that. I like to sort of think of signs and symbols that are all around us all the time. But by pure chance, I went out on this test to do with butterflies, and it was like I was meant to go out on this one, and that was it really. So yeah, I'm really chuffed. Like if I'm honest, which one did hang on? I touched. If I'm honest, I thought when I looked at the circle, I don't know about you, but I was like, oh, top 90 would be nice. I was just like, that'd be great, like because I just couldn't believe this array of people that were just standing in front of us, and I was like, shit, like which one was it you went out on?
46.
What was it? What was it? The t-shirt?
Finding a t-shirt.
Oh, of course it was. Of course it was.
I know, because all right, and everyone's brought this up to me, and I admit it. I am proud of the fact that I was hiding every single t-shirt I found, like all of them. But subsequently, I think someone will have come across mine and never and didn't think it. But I was lucky, honestly. When it came down to just two of us at the end, I was looking through every single. I've never looked through t-shirts faster in my life. I just couldn't find it.
If I'm honest, I didn't know that's what everyone was doing because it was just like find your t-shirt. I didn't know everyone was passing each other everyone's t-shirt, and then mine got handed to me, and I went shit. So I put it on, and of course then the marshal's like, right, get out, and I was like, shit, I've just seen someone else's t-shirt. But the mad thing is, one thing I've come to learn with that whole show and the whole situation was. And I was watching it more and more as you go on. It was like developing friendship groups and developing like camaraderie and stuff actually got you through some of the tasks, didn't it? Because it was like that nail one, the nail one where I was literally, but I don't cry, and I said to my dad's going to watch it, and I said to my dad, these people, these strangers, have seen me cry more than you have, and he was like, really? I was like, Dad, I'm crying on TV, but. The thing is, I was going through a breakup. My brother died the year before, so it was like all these things were like bubbling up, and I hadn't had a chance to think about any of it, and all of a sudden the show just gave me this space and chance to process all that. I don't know why, I don't know how. It was almost like it was the distraction was just bubbling it all up, and I couldn't bury it anymore. But like, so everything, I just didn't want to go home, and but I found people got me through it, like that nail challenge. I was just like, how the fuck do you stack 10 nails on a nail head? And I'm very shaky. Like I've been like it ever since I was a kid. I stopped eating breakfast because I shook so much. And in the end, I know that was a flaw of mine. It was not a flaw. It was just a weakness. And as I'm holding these nails, I've done it, but as I'm holding it, I'm just like that. So in the end, I just like clamped my hands on the plank, and I was like, I've been bawling my eyes up. But I come to realise it was the people that got me through that. Because otherwise, if I was there on my own, I would have gone out on that easily. It's all with the t-shirt one. Like I suppose, yeah, people have put it up to you and whatever. But it is what it is. You do what you do, don't you, with these tasks? But you come to realise it is like the people helping you out that kind of get you through a lot of these tasks.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your brother. The that I found, like you said, with when you, as soon as you were within it, it was like you're home for a week. It was like it became. I saw what it's like to be on one of these reality shows, like Big Brother, like Love Island, like where you're just there and it becomes your reality.
Yeah, and people say, "Oh, they're my best friends," and I'm like, "Bullshit! That can't be right." But then when you're in it and you're finishing at 9 p.m. and you're on the phone to your friends and family, I've got to be honest, like my friend, not that many of my friends and family were sort of checking it. In the end, they were, but that's because I was still there. But to them, they were just like, "Oh, you've gone away on a holiday for 2 weeks," and I'm like, "It's not like that. It's intense. You're knackered. Your adrenaline's through the roof." And I was going to bed wired, and then I was waking up like a few times in the night, and I went for a run every morning. Every single morning I went for a run at like 5:45, just to kind of almost like give me some alone time, just so I could process the day ahead, because you didn't know what was coming, and that's what I struggled with. I think it was just the anticipation of what is actually going to go on for this like 12. And will I still be here tomorrow? Because if I'm honest, I wanted every night in the hotel. So.
I was very much thinking like I want to be. I used to think I was kind of, obviously, if you went out one day, you went home the next. So every time I went through, I kind of thought, right, I've got 2 more days. So
Yeah,
in that kind of way. And I started thinking, and then when I got to the like about a week in, I thought I just want to be here next Saturday. If I'm here next Saturday, I'm in the final. So I kind of put it like that. And then that T-shirt, honestly, I said it on the podcast. Obviously, I went out. It is what it is, isn't it? You know what I mean? But
do you regret it at all, or do you just stand by like because it is what everyone had to do a different thing for each sort of task?
No, I don't regret going in totally on my own and whatever. And I mean, I was making like connections with, you know what I mean, and trying to. But I'm not very. I don't trust a single person on earth, anyone. So I was never going to trust people I've met. You know what I mean? I've never trusted anyone in my life, but. There were people I got on with, but they left. Everyone I got on with left. Kieran left. Who else? Creasy, the racing driver.
Yeah.
And his wife, chatting to them all the time. Sat with them, eating my lunch, whatever. They left. Who else did I hang around with? Paul left. Everyone who I got mates with went out. And
it's funny you should say that. I found once in the end, it was like. I start off just like, and I'm like this in life anyway. I definitely have sort of varying levels of trust issues and stuff, but I start off doing the opposite. I start off going, everyone's amazing, I love everyone, but then I go the other way and go, everyone's against me. Like I think it's something inbuilt, and I think again, like without going too much into it, I come out of a relationship. There's various trust issues with that, like in the end, and it was like, and I didn't realize how sort of. That the slightest thing could be quite triggering to make you go, actually, can I trust these people? But what's to trust? There are a bunch of simple tasks. It was when the producer said about halfway through the show, there's simple tasks. Don't overthink it. And I'm an overthinker. So it was at that point that I think I started doing quite well, because I went, they're easy tasks. There's no secret method to it, David. Just do what she says and watch what they're doing. The key was watching what they're doing, like the pancake challenge, for example. Call me paranoid. But I seen one of the marshals sort of like, he was just playing with the pancake and he's folding it. And me, Kieran, and Ashton were on the same team. And we were just like, let's fold it. And we folded the pancake in the end. But it was like another, what was the other one? Oh, I can't remember what the task, but I was just like, oh yeah, if you look, there can be a little trick. Like the egg one, the key was you in the egg one?
No.
With the tray.
Yeah. Okay, you stood there for about 40 minutes or something like that.
Oh, Will. I'm a hairdresser. I can stand up 12 hours a day, quite comfortable. I'm using my hands all day, quite happy just holding a fucking tray. But so, like, in the end, mentally, you can't believe, like, because you don't know when if I'm sitting there saying I'm going to do a 10-minute meditation, I'm doing a 10-minute meditation, I know there's an end. But you're there going, is it going to be 5 minutes? Is it going to be 12 minutes? And I was counting the spots on the egg. I was reading the number on the egg. But if you even looked up, like, your finger would go with it. And then, like, if any of you within your grid and that, and it starts sort of rolling, you'd be glad you weren't.
I'm glad you brought up that pancake one, actually, because I remember that, because I messed that up. I was getting them this is what I've been told. I was getting them done quick. Do you know, all the challenges quick, and that's why people started to believe in me, I think. But that pancake one, I don't know if it's because I just didn't trust anyone in my team, but I think I've messed up twice on that. But it's funny with me, my level of kind of being just doesn't change. It's weird. I don't know if I'm a bit like I don't get happy or sad. I just stay.
Neutral.
So I didn't panic at it. I just I didn't believe I would go out.
Why do you think you don't trust people? Where do you think that stems from?
I don't think it's that. I think I'm just a very logical black and white thinker.
Yeah.
I'm very action
literal. You're quite literal.
I know it sounds like heartless or whatever. It probably is, but I don't believe in feelings. And when people act up, I just believe in action. Bang bang. Do you know what I mean? If things go wrong, things go. And I don't.
You're quite literal then.
Do what?
You're quite literal, you would say.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I certainly wasn't when I was younger. I was very like mad kid. But I think now I'm just kind of. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just. What's the word? Accustomed to because I'm not being funny. I'm in Ukraine. I'm on TV. I'm doing that. Like you get to a level where like James Bond just don't care anymore. I'm not saying I'm James Bond, obviously, but like Bond's just like totally because that much goes on. I think I'm just kind of like like.
Do you feel like you have empathy? Empathy. Would you say?
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. I feel I know how people. You know what I mean? I'm not a lunatic, but like, I think you know what it is. It's like it's my own life, my own. It's towards me. My feelings towards myself are very like, whatever. It's like people say to me, "Why do you go to all these countries? It's so dangerous." I'm like, well, the videos might do well.
Why not?
Yeah, but that might happen. I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm not going to not do it. I'll just do it. Do you know what I mean? I'm very much kind of.
Sort of cross that bridge when it comes to it, sort of thing.
Yeah, just kind of likelihood based instead of because I'm not being. Like people go into things. I think, and there's like realistically, if they thought the thing they're worried about is like a 1% chance of it happening, but because they're so worried, they expand that 1%. Whereas I think 99% chances nothing's going to happen. I'll just go.
Well, let's say your mind, mate. I remember. Sort of this really helped me actually. So your thoughts aren't real. So basically, if you're it was an Ant Middleton book or something like the Fear Bubble or something like that. And I never thought I'd really get into his books, but I really did. And it was something about that. Basically, in effect, what's the point of stressing about something till it's actually? So if you're thinking, if you've got a bungee jump in 3 days, don't worry about the bungee jump today because you're not actually bungee jumping today. Otherwise, you put your mind doesn't know what's real and what's not. And your mind would have gone through it twice. So think about it when you're doing it. Be scared about it. Use that energy. Be scared about it when you're doing it. So when I was doing the marathon, I was like, I can't stress about the marathon until I'm doing the marathon. Yeah. And it really helps me. So now, and I'm quite an overthinker. I'm the opposite to you. I'm like, my head's everywhere. And so what I do is I've got tools to channel it and organise my mind. And just because I'm like, David, it's not there yet. It's not real. And things like that sort of really help me contain myself almost. So, but it's like your thoughts aren't real. They're not real. Your thoughts are just making shit up.
It's funny you say that. To be fair, when you said you're an overthinker, I'm not being funny. My bed's there. I lie in bed like I said, I don't sleep. I can't let my body go to sleep knowing that there's more money to be made and there's more. I can't do it. It's weird. It's like every single second. This is one thing that's controversial. I don't see pleasure in fun. I don't see. If someone said you can never go on a night out ever again. You can never have a laugh ever again. I'd be like, sweet.
Do you see it's a waste of time then, almost?
It is update my stuff on my phone. Yeah, totally. It's like it's a weird mindset to have, but I think it stems from overthinking. I think you think that much that you just kind of like, right, sweet.
Yeah. You've almost overthought yourself into not thinking. Then almost, I suppose. Yeah, I get that. I actually get that. I actually know exactly what you're talking about. To the point where you just end up almost void slightly, and you just kind of go. Right,
and you're still thinking it. You're not numb to it or oblivious to it. You're just very. It's just second nature.
You're just okay with it. I think because in the end, you've stressed yourself for your life. You've almost stressed yourself out that much that actually, like my sister said to me, she said, "What you're doing is fucking massive, though. Like I never apply for these things and do these things." And I was like, I couldn't imagine not, to be honest. And it's because I've overthought stress that much in my life. I've got nothing left. So I'm just like, yeah, of course I'll do it. Like this other show that I'm potentially I've applied for. Like I'm through the final sort of stage to that, and it's like, and I'm like, yeah, why not? Like why not? Because I've overthought that much in my life, and it's come out with different expectations and results that I've kind of just gone,
And that's the advice I'd give to people. I've got, you know, you ask any, most people have the same advice: follow your dream. I always say, or I don't really, but I would say it to people if they ask. Don't. Again, I know it sounds like a bit like people look and think, "Whoa, what are you on about?" But don't let yourself become happy about things. Like if a bit, because you know something happens to people and they go, "Yeah," and then if it goes wrong, a little bit thing goes wrong, then they're gone. I'll sit and watch 99 to Beat like this, just watch it, post things on my phone. Like totally, I won't let myself get happy. I was at the, do you know Conor Ben, Chris Eubank Jr.?
Oh yeah.
And you see him slap an egg across his face recently. They were facing off like boxers do, and it's a massive fight, and he slaps an egg across his face, and it all kicks. I was there. It all kicks off. People fighting, people running on the stage, whatever. And there's two promoters. There's Eddie Hearn. Do you know of him? He's a boxing promoter, but he's like they make memes of him on Instagram now. He goes like, "Oh, go on then," and all that, and it's like drinks beers and stuff. But he is a boxing promoter.
I'll have a look when you'll have to send me the thing.
But he's been in it for years and years and years. And I met him when I was 15. He was at this thing, and I was stood around after a bit of all that. It had proper kicked off, like it was proper news. And he walked past me, load of people there, massive entourage around him. And he walked past after this proper kick-off had happened with one of his fighters. All right, lads, how you doing? Yeah, good. Right. Totally. And that's an example of, he's been a boxing promoter for 25 whatever years, or less than that. But, he was totally numb to it. It's and I thought, whoa, that's like proper.
So would you say you're almost like in fear of becoming complacent, as in like it's good to keep chasing almost, good to keep sort of striving. Striving is the word I suppose I'm looking for.
Yeah. I think a lot of people want to do well to enjoy it and relax. And I feel like if you are like that, you're never going to get there.
I like chasing retirement almost, but a mental retirement, if you get me. So to get to that point where it's almost like passive and like...
So do you want to do that? Do you want to just...
If I'm honest, I had everything I ever dreamt of, and I was like, right, what now? And it kind of got to that point. So then it was like I had more money than I needed, a better car than I ever thought I'd have. I had my own place and all this stuff. And then I kind of got to the point where I was like, oh, I'm really happy. And then lockdown happened. Then I got in a relationship. Then I literally, like I literally didn't even have cutlery last year when the show was about to happen. Like I was on a block bed. Like I'd lost all my clients because I'd moved, and then I had to come back. And all of a sudden I was like, what am I going to do? And it was the best position. It was the best position. Having nothing had taught me everything, because everything I've got now, I'm just quite content, quite happy. Yeah. Like I've had more, because I grew up on a cancer estate, one of 6. My mum brought us up. You know, my dad's an amazing guy, like still very much on the scene. But it was, you know, I was used to seeing like what it was to suffer and struggle. So anything I had was more than that. Any money I earned was more than that. So I had more than I ever dreamt of. And I had an ex once, and he went to Harrow and all this stuff. And he was like, do you not want £1 million? And I was like, if I get $1 million, that's great, but I'm not going to chase $1 million. I says, because I feel when you've got $1 million, you'll want 2. And when you've got 2, you'll want 10. I said, so the answer to your question, if I get it, great. If I don't, I'm not that bothered either. Because I'll survive with nothing, I will as well.
And if 99 to Beat goes massive and you become some big name, would you say it went big time, or you did something subsequently and that went big time, and would you embrace that, or would you be backing off at that point?
Oh no, I'd go in balls deep. I'm very much a yes. So this is one of my strengths, I like to believe. I'm a yes man. I will like say, for example, oh, do you want to do that podcast? Do you want to do that? Do you want to do that chat? Do you want to come on there? Yeah. Like, so the weekend, for example, Friday I was at work at the salon. I was offered to go to this event with a friend in Manchester. It was the Gadio Pride Awards. I literally got in my car, got home, got in my suit, got to the awards, left at 11:30, even though like my favourite like drag queen I've ever sort of like known of is hilarious. Even he was like, you coming to the after party? And the me that people know, people were putting bets on it that I wouldn't be at work the next day. And I didn't. I left. I got back. I had 4 hours sleep. I went to work the next day, and just kind of went like that. And I realised I will. Whilst it's there, I'll say yes to it. Like even if it means going from that edge of the country to that edge of the country to that. Of course, I'll be stupid not to. I'm 40. I'm 41 years of age. I'm not going to get these opportunities handed to me at all. You know, people. You know, I'm not like. I'm just learning TikTok. I've just done 2 videos on TikTok, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, you've got to and you've got to sit there edit. And now I've kind of got used to it. It's all a bit of a minefield at first, but whilst I'm on my own, whilst I'm single, and like I say, having nothing has made me just go yes to everything. It's been the best thing. So,
what avenue are you going down with all TikTok stuff?
it's just very much a sort of like when I'm sort of doing stuff. It's more just I weren't sure what to do. I was going to do like tarot readings or something like that, and it was like, but I tend to do that for me and my friends. It's just my own personal thing. But I'm doing more of I'm a bit of a dad joke. I'm a bit of a jovial person, so I like to just take the piss out of myself. So I'll just do that. I'm just like, oh, come with me. I'm just going to do that, and then I narrate over myself, and I'm like, oh, look at me pretending to yawn or something ridiculous like that as I'm like going about my day. But if I'm offered something or I'm going somewhere, then I'll just do that, little clips, and then narrate that. And if people are into it, they're into it. If they're not, they're not. There's someone for everyone, isn't there?
So, what position did you come then in that? What actual number were you?
8.
8. So everyone I've interviewed, well, not everyone, but a lot of people I've interviewed have been like way ahead of me, and it bugs me. Like, it's like,
I must admit, I didn't think I'd get anywhere near, and I'm not just saying it. I said to myself before I started, I was like, I want every night in the hotel, as random as that sounds. It was nothing to do with the competition. And then I was like, when I got to about top 70, I started going, okay, there's a chance here. When it got to top 50, and they were just like, look, these tasks are simple. Like, I just started going, shit, I just need, I was just turning up and just doing it and I was like, shit, I'm doing all right. And my mate was just like, oh, you know, it is what it is. And then she went, shit, you could actually win this. And I went, yeah, that'd be the aim, ideally. And then I started thinking about winning, which is nice. Because I didn't realise that. So my interview, I said, I'm not a competitive. No, I said, I think I'm competitive, but I'm more of a cheerleader. I'm not a leader. I don't like to manage or lead. So I thought. But as it stands, a couple of the tasks I did lead on, or like you know, like the guttering one. I was the guy, the first one that put the ball on, which I never thought. I thought I'd shit myself. I like to stay in the middle. I like to stay in my lane. And then the pancake one, I was the one folding the pancakes and throwing them down. And I was like, actually, I can do this. I can just sort of take the lead because I like to think I'm quite quick with my reactions, and I can just do shit if I apply myself, but I'll apply myself very quickly. So I don't know. I was happy with my position, but I certainly didn't think I'd get there. Like I was looking at the ring, going the circle, and go shit, top 90, top 90. But the fact that I had a great day the first day, I was happy with that. So as cheesy as that sounds, it was how I was thinking at the time. I was just grateful.
I said this on every. I think I've probably said this on every podcast I've done on most of it. It was the best week of my life. Like all of it, like literally, even the fact that it was boiling, wasn't it? Like it was so hot, and it were long days, and it were.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I love it when things start going completely mental. So when it was, and it was just like, it was like that's my level of calm.
Yes, and like some of the food and stuff like that. I was like, I don't eat this well at home. Like I'm there with a coffee and a snack, and I'm standing in a circle having a laugh with a bunch of strangers waiting for a next task, and like they're filming and they're refilming or whatever. I'm like, I am happy as Larry. This is better than any day I get at home because I was. If I'm honest, I remember saying to Kieran Lyle, I was like, I live quite a lonely life, you know. So the friends I've got now, like, so I've probably got 2 friends before this show. Like, because in the end, it was various, like, you know, one of my friends had died a year and a half before my brother. And then it was like, I've lost various friends through life. And then, you know, various fallouts through the years. And in the end, ultimately, I just had 2 very close friends. And like, my ex was my best friend in effect, I suppose. And you know, I thought we were going to spend the rest of our lives together. So I was leading this very lonely life where I was isolating myself more and more. And then all of a sudden, I go into the show with these massive characters. And I just found myself just like you say, it's fucking wicked. I just come out of my shell and was just like, I can be whatever the fuck I want right now. And I just found myself becoming more of myself. And that's why I was so upset and so like, honestly, I'm known for not crying. It was like, I obviously cry when people pass away and whatever else, but now it's like it's really opened up this part of me there that I'm quite liberated by, and that I feel quite proud and happy that I've just rediscovered, not discovered, but rediscovered. And I think the show, I'm grateful for the show for that, and meeting all you lot as well. It's like it's wild that I've got these people that I can just turn to that you try and explain the whole 2 weeks to your friends and family, and they're like,
it's the one that you never get.
They're like, what you on about?
I'm totally with you on that. As in, like, I'm from Bury. I'm not being funny. I'm like the arch character of my town. Like honestly, like I'm known as a lunatic. I think.
Oh, you really?
Like because obviously all through school I was like the guy with blonde hair making music and videos and also like I was just like I didn't care. Do you know what I mean? But like it was fun. I always kind of accepted myself as like the villain, as the bad one, and then like you go there, but as much as I was like hiding people's t-shirts and like trying to like shaft everyone because it was just funny in it. But it's the first time I've ever been with a load of people that have just been that same kind of opposite. There was no like normal everyday random people. Not I'm not saying everyone was the same. Everyone was very different, but none of them were like a normal random everyday person.
The irony is we were meant to be, I think, but like it was meant to be like 100 everyday people. But the irony is, I don't think we were like everyday people. I think we've all stood out, maybe out. I don't know. I can only speak for a few that I've seen maybe stand out in terms of our peers or in terms of our school or whatever. We've all been. It seems like everyone I've spoken to has been through stuff or has got quite a past really with things that have gone on in their life. And it was like I noticed on your video actually, you said something about school where people at school like what did you mean by that? Like
no, I just like winding people up to be honest. Because I used to say I'll be on TV, me, and then like everyone goes,
that's it. That's what I was going to say. So you sort of is it something from school you knew was going to happen?
Maybe I just said it just for I don't know. I just say things, me. I don't know. I did think I would because I knew I'd just go for it. But the fact it's happened that quick, is quite cool to be honest. Because I'm 19, aren't I? It's like,
are you only 19? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Why else do you think I was?
I don't know. I'll say early 20s, but it's like you just can't tell with people on this thing.
Well, when I had like full beard, like people were saying I was 30 and stuff like that.
I certainly didn't think you were. Well, do you know what? Good on you, because it's like you've got this opportunity, you've seized it, and grabbed it with both hands, and you're like, yeah, I'm doing everything I can with it, and I don't blame you. It's like you've got to, you really have got to, because these things don't get. Like someone said to me on the weekend, they went, God, you're so lucky. They went, I told them what we were on, and I told them what we we're doing. They were like, wow, you're so lucky. I'd love to do something like that. Like, and this person's the opposite. They've been trying to do something like what we've done. And we've just gone, yeah, we'll do it. And like, and I think it took a lot of balls for all of us to enter it and go through the process. And here we are just like talking about it now and just like reflecting on it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait. And obviously now it's been, obviously there was a few months afterwards and you kind of forget about it, don't you? Go back to normal life. But now it's kind of becoming a thing again. And you think,
yeah. I've got to be honest, I went through, and it's literally in these last 2 days, and I woke up this morning so positive, like completely opposite. Yesterday I was anxious. I was like, and then I just thought, well, David, it's done. It's all done. It's all ready. All you can do now is just watch. And I've said to I was saying to someone the other day, I said to my best friend, like, because she's not into all this sort of stuff. She's very much like, she's a bit more introverted than I am and whatever. And she said to me, she was like, I was like, look, you know who I am. Regardless of how things look or edit or whatever, like your friends and family and people that give a shit, and more to the point, you know who you are, or we like to think we do. I like to think I'm self-aware and I know who I am. So it doesn't matter what people or strangers say about you. Who are they? They're strangers. And that, I'm very grateful that people get to see us in this context and environment. But ultimately, I've got to just not let things affect me too much if that is the case. Otherwise, It can destroy you, that sort of stuff, can't it? If you're relying too much on what strangers think.
Whereabouts are you based at the minute? Where are you living?
Sort of South Derbyshire, yeah. So I work in
Whereabouts?
Tamworth. Swaddling Coat near Burton-on-Trent.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. So I lived in Balpa, North Derby, moved from there back to here, because I had a tenant living here. And then just kind of been back here. And I kind of was planning on moving. But I've quite enjoyed it actually. I quite like it's nice. It's a quite enough area. It's a nice town. I live 2 doors down from the park. Nice runs around here. I like to go running and stuff and just switch off. So yeah, it's great. What about yourself?
I'm from Bury, Manchester.
Oh yeah, Bury.
Manchester.
I was going to say, is it near Manchester? Yeah.
It's Bury's the last tram stop out of Manchester if you're going north. So it's like the first. So Bury's like a mix of. I can go 10 minutes that way and I'm in Blackburn and Darwin, and I can go 10 minutes there and I'm on the tram to Manchester. It's like Bury's a really in the middle, weird kind of place.
It sounds like a nice in between. Let's say. I don't know.
It's all right. It's all right. I think it's all I've ever known. It is quite a unique place. I think people come here and think, "Whoa, like it's quite." But I'm not being funny. People grow up in Los Angeles and it's just normal to them. Like I think wherever you grow up, it's just.
That's so true, actually. Your normal is your normal, isn't it? Because I grew up in Tamworth. I was born and bred. I've kind of gone further and further out Wolverhampton, Birmingham, then moved here, then sort of further Derby, and ultimately I'm going back to where I started. And that's fine. I think it's like your universe. It's like the centre of your universe where you grew up, isn't it? So.
Yeah, it's funny. It's kind of as well. You always think your accent's just a normal accent, don't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're like people. I've had people. Someone commented on one of my videos. I thought I understood English until I heard like someone who'd learned English. I think I thought I understood English until I heard you. And so, like, but I don't see my accent as.
No, I wouldn't. So I have friends from like Salford and places like that, and I don't see yours that bad. But then it's like people in Derby would say to me when I lived there, and like round here, they're like, oh, you can tell you're from Birmingham. But then when I lived in Wolverhampton, they were like, oh, yeah, I'm so posh, don't you? Like, and my mum and dad are like Birmingham. So it's like, I was like, either way,
yeah, your accent adapts. You know, it does. I think if you go and live in, say, I moved to Romania now, I think I'd pick up a bit of a twang. Because when I worked in just in like Blackburn and Darwin, like in the vicinity of it, not in the. I started to notice myself having a tiny bit of like a Blackburn kind of thing somehow. Obviously, it's not too far away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I started like the odd word sounded like I was from Blackburn. It's funny.
I completely get that, because it's like Tamworth is a bit further north of Birmingham, but it's like if I'm around my dad's like, oh, you're all right, Bab, and all that, but all do so how am you and all that. Whereas around here, it's like, all right, Ducky. Like it's kind of like everyone's calling everyone Ducky around here. You're right, Ducky. You're right, Ducky. And I'm like stuck between Duck and Bab at the moment. So even above my toilet, there's a sign saying "Morning Bab." But like that's just like the Birmingham thing. Yeah, you're gonna pick up a twang. So.
No, definitely. And the amount of accents in that show.
And you're quite the well-travelled sort of kind of human, aren't you? So it's like you're gonna pick up a little bit. So I went out with a guy from Essex once actually, and that really influenced my accent, because it was very like Romford. It was like fucking this and fucking that, and it was like you definitely kind of get a bit of a twang there. So I'm a bit eclectic, I'd say. So
I think that's the coolest accent, Essex.
Yeah, like is it Libby's? Well, Libby's more Kent, isn't she? I love her accent. It's like because it sounds like I don't know. It's hard to explain, but you get your point.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
That's true, actually, and I suppose maybe would it be to do with TV and that? I don't know. Well, no. I suppose if that was the case, American would be familiar. But I remember going to America once. I went to LA. I went to LA Pride actually. And it was, and I remember someone saying, what was that, Vegas? No, I remember someone saying, are you from Australia? Because I had a Brummie accent. Yeah. So the Brummie accent in America sounds Australian. It's really hard to explain, but someone actually thought that.
I've had people ask me about Australia. I think it's because of my hair.
Oh yeah, that's you have got that surfer vibe going on. So
what I started doing was, say I went through the McDonald's drive-through, I put on I'm I'm not doing it now. I probably will end up doing it in a minute. But
Yeah, of course.
it would in the moment I can do good accents. If you ask me to do it, I can't do it. But I'd get to the drive-through, like, you know, like, Mike, you know, I'm not. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd put on some Australian thing, but they don't know you, do they? So it's like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, yeah. It's funny because me and Caitlin used to, because she was like left of me in the circle. She would do. So a lot of her family lived in Erdington, I've lived in Erdington, it's Birmingham, and apparently a lot of Irish went over to like Erdington and whatnot. But I would do her accent, but on the spot, like you just said, on the spot, yeah, I can do a Northern Irish Ireland accent. Otherwise, it'd sound quite insulting if I tried to do it now because I'd be overthinking it. And it is the overthinking, isn't it? But it's like, but she would do a Brummy accent, like a lot better than I could, and I'm from there, so. But yeah.
No, that show was mint. I know I've said it a million times. The last question I've asked a lot of people this.
Yeah.
Do you think there'll be heroes and villains in this show? And if so, who?
I didn't think there'd be heroes and villains. I don't think anyone about as villainous as it got. Villainous? Where's their t-shirts with you? That was about as bad as it got, to be honest with you. And I promise I wasn't going to mention that because it was like, I can imagine other people have. But heroes, I think, and without being biased, I think Jess comes across as a massive hero. I think, is it Sue?
Sue, yeah.
Yeah, I think she's definitely a hero.
Yeah.
I think who else? I have a massive love for Caitlin. I just think the positivity, she'd always lift you up. She'd always say, yeah. I think because it's a family show, it's going to be more edging towards the hero light side of things, isn't it? So
yeah, it'll be good. I can't wait.
I can't wait, and I can't wait to see it. And do you know what's nice? I think, like, even talking to you now, it's like we're put in this environment where it's pulling things out of us, competitiveness and stuff that we would not normally have to do on a day-to-day basis. So now talking to you, we're all just so much more relaxed. Like talking to people even now, it's just we're all really truly getting to know each other even now. So after almost a year, and I like that. That's amazing.
And what would you say to someone like you who wanted to go on TV and make it happen?
My God, I would say do it. Don't worry about it. Just try it and just keep trying it. And it's like at the end of the day, what have you got to lose? So, yeah.
David, thanks a lot, mate. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Cheers. Cheers for having me on. I really, really appreciate it.